of the things that I wanted to do was just say a little bit about what you do when you've got a dog that's sensitive about being touched. So we've been talking about doing all these touches all over the body, and you can do it all over the body. Well, what would you do if your dog didn't want to be touched on the hind quarters? So every time you went there, they sat down, moved it away, turned around, took your hand off, whatever it was that they were going to do. Well, the principle that we have, of course, is that we are not forcing this on the dogs. So we are not going to turn around and say, you will have this touched. But that does not mean that we just say, oh, okay, they don't like it, we're not going to do it anymore. Because actually, a lot of the time when a dog responds by saying don't, it's because they actually are, it's not about whether they like it or not, it's because they're concerned about it in some way. They're uncomfortable with something about that situation. So it may actually be that once they realize that actually that situation is okay, they'll be fine with it. So when your dog's not comfortable about something, it's not that we wouldn't do it, it's that we would do it in a way that would allow them to become comfortable. So say you've got this dog doesn't like having his back end touched, but he's fine about me touching around his face, his head, his shoulders. So if I was doing a T-touch session with this dog, I would actually start off just doing some touches, and I'd be watching him to see how he's reacting, and he's okay with that. And I'd take my hand away, and it can just be momentary. So when I say take a pause, I don't mean sort of do two and then go away and have a cup of tea sort of thing. I mean just sort of take a pause, you know, do a couple, take your hand off, see how your dog's doing. Maybe give them a long stroke. Come back, do another couple. And as I'm doing all that, and he's kind of relaxing and things, then as I'm doing that, I might just randomly do that. Simple as that and as quick as that. So I'm randomly just going into there, back, and noticing how they're responding. And actually, you often have a case where if you're doing this and there's a problem about that, you'd have the dog starting to kind of go, oh, this is nice. And then you do that and their eyes open. But by the time their eyes have opened, you're back here. So they're going, oh, okay, yeah, I'm really liking that. And they're fine. And they close their eyes again. And then you'll get to a point where actually you do that and you can go and do one here. And they're fine. They just don't open their eyes. They're fine. And very soon you'll be able to work in this area. But we're not forcing it in any way. What we're doing is showing them it's safe for them, that they still have the safety of when we're working with them in that area. We're not going to force it. We're always going to come back. If they open their eyes and went, whoa, we're off again. Take our hands off. So we're always listening. And that listening is a really important part of all of this.